Hello. Today's Thursday, April 4th. Guess what? Do you guys remember? Never mind, nobody watches this anymore. Maybe someday when people watch this, do you remember? Was it just 2 days ago, 3 days ago, maybe Monday? I mentioned a tiny little pharmaceutical company called Tonix Pharmaceuticals. TNXP is the ticker symbol. I mentioned that I was reading an article about it. And it wasn't about Tonix, but they were mentioned in the article. It was I believe it was a Wired magazine that I subscribed to. And so I looked it up, and they were just a tiny company, $15 million company is all they were. So I thought, what the heck? I bought some stock, I put $1,000 into it. And I wake up this morning and it is up 30% on major volume. This isn't just a couple trades. This is how many shares were traded today in Tonix. It was early this morning, it was already up to like or 12 million shares. Finished the day almost 17 million shares traded of Tonix Pharmaceuticals today. Share price is up to $2.81. It was over $3 this morning. It looks like it got up to $3.14, but finished up over 20%. Tonix Pharmaceuticals, they're expanding one of their studies to include fibromyalgia. It's one of their, I believe it's the post-traumatic stress drug that they're doing a study on. So good news there. That one's still, if you look at the chart, it's still pretty low. It was all the way up to $30 at one time, it looked like. Maybe that's probably the split adjusted price. I did see that they did a reverse split here in 2017. So it's had some huge spikes. I'm not saying it's going to continue, but companies had some huge spikes. It could continue. We got a pretty interesting pipeline. I can't believe, considering just the potential of their pipeline, that the company's only valued at $15 million. I suppose they've just diluted shareholders a lot, I suppose. But I'm just going to stick tight with the shares that I've got and just watch that one as we go. Actually, kind of a boring day in the markets. The Dow actually finished up 166 points, and the Nasdaq was down 3 points. That's kind of strange. I don't know if it was Tesla that held the Nasdaq down today. Tesla was down about 10%, was down about 10%. I think it finished down a little over 8%, down $24. Tesla closed at $267 today. Office Depot down 23.5% today. No surprise from me, I'll have to say. Office Depot they're a walking zombie is what they are. I actually worked for them one winter in between the landscaping season. When we've got some downtime, I got a job there for a couple months, and what a joke that company is. Not only are they losing money and never will make money, but just the way they do things there is just so backwards. I can't believe I was reading on it today, why it was down so much, and it was just the Office Depot issues warning. It says revenue shortfall warning. I mean, it just amazes me sometimes how stupid these, and what do you want to call them, investors or traders can be. Are you really surprised that Office Depot has a warning about revenue? Does that really surprise you? Office Depot? You think that's a thriving business right now in this environment? How could a stock drop almost 25% on a revenue warning? How? How could that be a surprise? I don't understand sometimes. That should maybe be down 1 or 2% today. That should be no surprise at all. I wouldn't surprise me if Office Depot went bankrupt tomorrow. In all honesty, They should. If you look at their income statement and balance sheet, they're just. I mean, it's no different than a Sears, Radio Shack. Office Depot is right in that same conversation. Um, it, I don't know how or why companies keep their doors open for so long when they're just burning through money. I don't really understand where they get the money from. Are they just not paying their vendors? Are investors just so stupid that they're just handing them money over to this losing operation? I really don't get it. I wish somebody could fill me in on that. How a company continues to just lose millions and millions and millions of dollars can continue on. I really don't understand it. And then for and then for people who own the shares in the company, oh, what a revenue warning! Oh, I better sell my shares now. If you hadn't sold your Office Depot shares by now, you're stupid. Seriously, who in 2019 is holding on to Office Depot shares? I mean, come on, people. I hope nobody watching this. If you are, you should watch some more of these videos because you could really um, you need to start thinking forward instead of Office Depot is a backwards company who's they maybe had their time, where they were profitable, but those days are over with. And why anybody would be holding Office Depot stock blows my mind. Tesla, on the other hand, down 8% today, but company's got tons of potential. They're in the right market. That's the future. Office Depot is about the exact opposite. Talk about two polar opposite companies. Um, so yeah, not a lot of stocks up or down real big today. Office Depot is the biggest mover, and then that Tonix Pharmaceuticals. Those two went opposite directions today. Let's see. What else am I going to talk about? Plug Power was up over 4% today. That one, Plug, continues to do well. It's had a really good last couple of months. Plug Power. Delphi is another one we talked about quite a bit. Just yesterday, it was up 6%. It was up another 4% today. Closed over $23. That's one that I was so close to buying some when it was under 20, and I didn't, and now it's over 23. That could change. Stocks can reverse themselves pretty quick if you follow the market at all. You already know that, but yeah, so not a whole lot going on today, but at least we got some big movement today. I like when the stocks are up big or down big, because there's always some story. I see. I didn't mention Tilray in the description, but I see Tilray was down almost 4% today. That stock is down to $61. Tilray is the marijuana company. If you remember, looks like they IPO'd at around 25, but that stock spiked up to $300 in, see, sometime 2018. I'm not sure the date that'll happen so fast, but that stock has come way down, which shouldn't be a surprise to anyone either. So I think marijuana stocks maybe they'll have another run, but it was sometimes if you don't get in at the right time, you don't want to get. It's better not to get in at all. You don't want to have that fear of missing out. You really don't, because as Bitcoin has shown too, a lot of people who had the fear of missing out on Bitcoin got in only to see the price of Bitcoin crash. All these things that are not profitable, or have no, no dividends or anything like that. They could literally go to zero because there's just nothing there. Any company who's not making money, you could make the argument that they should be bankrupt. If you're not making money, I mean, come on, it's I know there's always, that potential. Oh, next year we're gonna, it's like a sports team sometime. I'm I'm from North Dakota, so follow all the Minnesota sports teams. And if you're familiar with the Timberwolves and the NBA, they're one of those teams that are every year. Oh, next year is going to be our year. Next year is going to be our year. Everybody's been saying that for about the last 10 years. Every year is going to be the Timberwolves' year next year. Well, that's obviously, I don't think that's ever going to happen. Um, because they just, usually starts at the top and, works its way down. You just don't have you don't have good enough players. You just don't have that advantage. So there's usually only one company that has, or maybe a couple companies that have an advantage in a certain area or sector of the market. So, you have to try to find those companies and just ride those ships instead of trying to pick up these losers, that you're thinking are going to make you rich. I followed the markets for a long time and it just usually don't work that way. So, okay, well, that's the end of my rant here today. So we will see you tomorrow.